The Springboks' hopes of lifting the Webb Ellis Trophy are a thing of the past. Beaten by New Zealand in the semi-finals, the men in green and gold will now have to lick their wounds and focus on the fourth place playoff match on Friday. Their performance in the defeat to the world's top-ranked side wasn't just good enough, according to rugby commentator Mluleki Nsabo.
The hallmark of a Springboks performance at the World Cup, it tells a lot about the team that weren't really prepared. They went up to England with a lot of criticism because they picked their old team. They played the same old style that is very predictable, and they were found. We knew that against the All Blacks that was going to happen, playing against a very smart side, a slick, very quick as well, that make decisions on the go rather than having to make them before you go onto the field.
Although Heineke Meyer has been offered a 4-year contract extension until the next World Cup, Nsabo believes it's time for change.
In my opinion, he shouldn't, to be quite honest. As I said earlier on, you knew that what the All Blacks or the Springboks are going to bring into the game. He's the type of man who doesn't have a plan B in a game. Plan A might not work, but he's still going to continue. I saw them. They were like headless chickens when there was nothing happening for them.
Nsabo feels that despite the defeat to their arch-rivals, the Boks can still hold their heads up high after a trying build-up to the tournament and a shock defeat to minnows Japan.
Well, if you looked at the team when they picked it, you wouldn't have given them a chance, admit it, and I think most South Africans wouldn't have given them a chance. But to have gone this far into the semi-finals, I think credit must go to the men who went there, not necessarily the right 31 men who were picked at the end of the day, but they did the job because they went to the semi-finals, you'd say.
It's a bitter pill to swallow for the Springboks exiting at the semi-final stage of the World Cup, but there's no shame in going out of the last four at the rugby showpiece. The interesting thing now is to see what Heineke Meyer does next. There are calls for him to step down and a new thinking to be brought into the Springboks setup. One thing though, he's got some really talented rugby players that have put their hands up in this Rugby World Cup. CS du Plessis, CCTV, Johannesburg.